go ahead in your notebook, put unit conversions as the title, and the table of contents as well, unit conversions. Take some notes today, shouldn't be that bad. Some of you this may be reviewed, but again, I have to go over it. This is on the EOC. It's on, whenever I say the EOC, that's the AP exam at the end of the year, guys, okay? So that's the test that we take for you guys to be able to get AP credit. Yeah, this is technically an AP class. You can get engineering credit, you can get art credit. There's a couple other different ways you can get science credit if you continue in the program as well. And now that we're CP, it's even more aggressive, but I digress. Yes, ma'am. So that's another thing. So Google, for whatever reason, is failing on all the computers. I don't know why it's doing that. We did talk to IT today and or yesterday I should say. All you gotta do is use a different browser for now. They're gonna reinstall Chrome on all the computers, via push, so they won't have to come out. So just use like Firefox or something like that instead. Or use Edge if you want, whatever, but Chrome is not gonna work for some, and some it may be fine. So if it does not work, go ahead and use another browser. All downstairs had that problem yesterday for some reason. Now today it's hitting us. At least they had the problem, not us. Okay, so we're going to start real quick here. It's really straightforward stuff the next day or so. I'm going to go over unit conversions today. You guys are going to basically do the activity today, do it for homework, and we're good to go. The only thing I need to add on to what kind of we're worried about as far as how you guys are submitting this stuff, right? So submit all your activities from now on. All going to be in Google Classroom. They were before. The only one was just yesterday's when I did the sign thing. I just thought that was really simple and easy for yesterday. But from now on, like the one that we just did, this activity we did yesterday, right? You guys pasted in your book. Take a picture with your phone or something like that, and then you're going to upload it into Google Classroom. Okay? Not today, obviously, after we're done talking and all that jazz. But that will be due by the end of the week. Okay? So make sure that that is uploaded. Today's assignment. It's going to be in your engineering notebook. All the assignment is on Google Classroom already, and then you're going to take a picture of that when you're done and upload it into Google Classroom. Every assignment you do in your engineering notebook, you're going to upload it into Google Classroom. Is that clear? Easy peasy? Okay. The reason that is because then I don't have to collect your engineering notebooks, and I can grade on the go. I can literally grade from my phone and be done. Okay? It's just easier on me and quicker on me, and then you guys get grades faster. Cool? Okay. So let's do some unit conversions today. Pretty easy in my mind. Some not. There is a 48 slide PowerPoint to this. I'm not doing that. 48. I didn't even give you the slideshow because I thought it was ridiculous. So, okay. So what we're going to see today, first things first, in Google Classroom. Hopefully you guys should see in a second here all the stuff that I'm going over. In Google Classroom, and yours looks a little different, obviously. In classwork, you guys are going to see under resources, I just posted something that's called basically the engineering formula sheet. It looks like this. And if you click on that engineering formula sheet, it's a 11-page document that goes through every formula that you're going to use basically within the next 4 years. Don't worry, we're not going to learn all this year. But these are, a lot of it's POE, a lot of it's EDD or aerospace and that kind of stuff. But there are some things in here that we're going to focus on, like, for example, on page 3. If you guys look down on page 3, it says 6.0 conversions. This is basically every conversion that you're going to need for this class. If you scroll down a little bit more, you're going to see SI, which we talked about yesterday, SI prefixes. And these are the way you're going to convert. This is how you're going to convert. That's all you really need for now. You will be able to use this whole entire formula sheet on that AP exam and on any test you take in this class that you need it for. Okay? So you won't have to worry about memorizing any of these formulas. You just got to know how to use all of them. Does that make sense? Okay. So I'm going to kind of go reference back and forth to this thing a lot today. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it like as a, as like a separate dealio here. Oh, it's not doing it because it's a thing. That's okay. There we go. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to have this up basically for the rest of the time. See what this looks like. So I had this, the ladybug and all that kind of stuff. I think that's a lot easier just to show you guys the how this stuff works and everything, and then going back and forth within these pieces. It's a lot easier to show you than it is to talk about it in a 48 slideshow. So you can watch that, do whatever you need to do. The first kind of set of notes you would take is this little asterisk right here, okay? Dimension analysis. And basically all that is given units over 1, which anything over 1 is itself, multiplied by desired units over the given units are equal to desired units. So write that in your notes, and we'll start there, okay? Dimensional analysis, and then given units multiplied by desired units over given units equals the desired units over. And all that means is basically you're given a unit, and let's say they ask you to convert to something else, right? I don't know, we'll go over a couple examples obviously coming down here, but they're going to give you a unit, you're going to try and convert that with the desired units that you're trying to solve for, and then basically solve. Multiply across and you're good. So it says conversion factor, and all they're saying here, this formula is actually on it. It says in the formula sheet. I don't even see it on here, but again, you won't need to know it. You'll kind of remember when we're good. All right, so let's do some of these. For the first one, so it's saying convert 103.2 to centimeters to meters. This is in class, and when I was in school back in my day, basically what I couldn't stand sitting there listening to a teacher for 40 minutes about something. Just show me how to do it, right? Give me examples, and then walk you through it. That's the way I learned. And if this is too much or not enough or whatever it is, just let me know and I'll try something new. But this is the way that I learn, and I think that it'll help you guys. So I'm just going to go over some examples, and if you're lost, let me know, okay? So 103.2 centimeters to meters. To me, that's pretty straightforward stuff. The easiest way to do that is, again, we have, just like we talked about right here, you have given units. So you're given 103.2 centimeters multiplied by desired units, which in this case are meters, and then given units again over centimeters. What's that asking is basically how many meters are in 1 centimeter. Okay? So in this case, they say 10 to the negative 2. Where do they get that? If you come over here, meters, grams, pounds, all that kind of stuff, those are called base units. And those are obviously all in the center here. Just think of those all as the center. Okay? From there, you can either go less than 1 or greater than 1, right or left. The easiest way to understand all of this, I don't do it this way, but this is the way they want me to teach it to you, so I'll show it to you first. 10 to the negative 2, where do they get that? If you look at centimeters in this case, centimeters is right here, and it says right here 10 to the negative 2, okay? So they're saying that in 1, basically meter, there's going to be 10 to the negative 2 centimeters. So they say 10 to the negative 2 divided by 1 centimeter. That equals, if you did that in a calculator, to 1.032. Here's my way of doing it. If I have centimeters, right, and I'm going to a bigger number, right, does that make sense? If I'm going from centimeters and I'm going to go to a bigger number, which is going to be in meters, that's a bigger number, right, I'm going to move the decimal to the left. So if I'm getting bigger, I go left. If I'm getting smaller, I go right. That's what I would write down, okay? Bigger, left, smaller, right. And that's just decimal movement, right? How I move the decimal. So instead of doing all these, if it's a straight conversion, meaning if I'm going to centimeters, I'm going to kilometers, from meters, or whatever, it's all meters already and I don't have to do any real math, then I just move the decimal how many times it tells me to move. How do I know how many times to move it? If it's 103.2 centimeters, centi, to meters, again, it said 10 to the negative 2. I'm going to move it 2 spots. Whatever this basically number is with the power, that's how many times I'm going to move it. So I'm going from a small to a big, right? I'm getting bigger, so I'm going to move it to the left. How many times? Twice. 1, 2. That gives me 1.032. Does that make sense? Okay. Let's do another one that's similar. So I move this up. Let's go from kilometers to centimeters. This is, again, they're converting first from kilometers to meters, then they're going from meters to centimeters. I don't want to do all that. That's a waste of my time. Okay? So in this case, I can say kilo, right? I know that that's 3. I'm going from big to small. So if I'm going smaller, I got to move it to the right. How many times? 10 to the power of 3. Where did I get 3 from? Kilo is 3, 10 to the power of 3. Don't worry about negative or positive because we're just looking at this little thing I made. We're going to move it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. We're at 5 right here, right? 5 meters. And then from there, we're at 5 meters, and we still need to get to centimeters, so we're not done yet. So centimeters, if you looked at it, we just did one that was -2. So I'm going from still now, making it smaller. So I'm going to go to the right. Decimal's right here on 5. So I'm still going to go another 2. 1, 2. Fill in the blanks with the zeros, and I have 500 centimeters. Does that make sense? Pretty straightforward. If they're straight across, why am I going to sit there and try and do all that math instead of just moving the decimal how many times I need to move it? Does that make sense? Yes? No? If you want to do it this way, like I said, these are double conversions. So they went from kilometers to meters first. And again, looking at this, the formula that we had given meters. They gave us kilometers. We need to get to meters first before we can then convert to centimeters. So we have given, desired, given, and then again, desired, given. And all you're doing is multiplying and multiplying in a calculator if you want to do it that way. I don't do it that way, I just move the decimal when I need to. Same thing down here. Let's do another one. Let's zoom in so you guys can actually see this. Oops, way too much. Okay, so let's say, there we go. There we go. So let's say again, we got liters to liters. It's the same thing, but now we got to go to hecto, which we look at the thing over here. Hecto is hecto right here, to the 2. So I know it's 10 to the power 2, and it says it right here. So I've got given, desired, given, desired, given. I have to go from hecto, just the normal liter first. And again, since I'm going from small to bigger now, so I'm getting bigger. Bigger is to the left. So I'm going to go 1, 2. That gives me 5.1967. And that's in liters. And now from liters to milliliters, again, look at milli. It's -3. I'm sorry, it's 6. It's mega, not milli. And you can tell because it's a capital M, mega. If it was lowercase, then it'd be mega is right here, and that's 6, right? So again, I'm going from small to bigger, so I'm getting bigger. So I'm still going to go left. And how many times am I going to go left? 6 times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. And that's basically my number in mecaliters. You can also just keep going in mecaliters, but it doesn't matter. Okay, that's a meca. Does that make sense? Yes? No? Too much? Okay. Let's do another one. Yards to feet. So these ones are a little bit trickier. So this is something that you can't just move the decimal in, right? So let's try one of these. So if I have yards to feet, this kind of forces the formula to be desired to basically given, right? If I'm given that there are 17.2 yards and it's wanting me to convert to feet, I have to figure out from yards to feet. So I have, again, given, desired, given. I'm trying to get to feet, I'm given yards. So how many feet are in 1 yard? If you look at, obviously it's 3, yeah, but if you look at the little chart on your right over here, it tells you that, okay? Over in length right here, you have 1 yard equals 3 feet, okay? That's where it comes into play. So I know that there's, again, 1 yard in 3 feet. I can then multiply across the numerator.
Work on the Adobe stuff.
Okay.
I have a question.
Okay. So after you can do that, you can just directly cross multiply. So you have 17.2 times 3. That'll give you 51.6 feet. That one's pretty straightforward. Again, given, desired, given. Good?
So I'm trying to, I logged you into all the Creative Cloud accounts and pinned Illustrator to the taskbar. Now, I was opening Illustrator to test one and it wants me to log in again as you.
So you did. So you logged in first.
I logged into Creative Cloud.
It didn't. You updated it.
Yep, and then I pinned.
And then you pinned.
Then I went to Open Illustrator, and I went to log in again. You didn't get that with any of yours?
No, I didn't get that one. Can you
just
close
open
it?
Illustrator on any of them?
Yeah. Can you close it and then just try and play?
I can try. I just didn't know if you had hit. I thought you had hit that already.
I never had to log in a second time.
Okay.
So 3 feet 7 3/4 inches, 2 inches, right? This one's a little trickier. So basically all they did was they took and said how many inches are in a foot, okay? So first of all, you got to have like terms. So we have feet and we have inches here. So there's a couple ways you can do this, and if they want to keep it in fractions, so be it. I hate fractions, but you can keep it in fractions if you want. 3 feet 7 3/4 of an inch, 2 inches. Well, if I got feet and inches, I have to get all of this into inches first, right? So let me focus on this, because this is already in inches, this is not. So how many inches are in a foot? Well, it says right here 12. Where did I get that? Again, right over here you see, you should know a ruler has 12 inches in 1 foot, I would hope. So you got, in this case, you got 3 feet, and again, you're given, you're desired, and you're given, right? So, and there's 12 inches in 1 foot, 3 times 12, okay, which is 36 right here, okay? 36, and we already had this in inches. This is now in inches. This is inches. You add them together, you get 43 3/4. Make sense? Okay, keep going. Inches to centimeters. So this one's a little bit trickier. So if we have inches and we have centimeters, we have to then go into length over here and see how many inches are in 1 centimeter. Okay? In this case, you have 1 inch equals 2.54 centimeters. So again, you have given, desired, given. If we're given there's in inches, we want it in centimeters, we're trying to get away from inches. So there's 2.54 centimeters in 1 inch. Same thing, multiply across, 34.7 times 2.54 equals 88.1. Next, inches to yards. So this is one of the first ones that we're going to do that are kind of double, right? If I'm going to inches to yards, I can't go right from inches to yards. Easy way to figure that out is the fact that if I'm going over this chart, is there anything from inches to yards directly? No. There's directly from inches to feet, and then from feet to yards. So we're going to do it that way. Okay, you guys you got to figure out what is like. So again, same thing. We have given, desired, given, desired, given. So we got to convert once, then we got to convert a second time in order to get our final answer. So we have it in inches. We're going to go from feet first because we know that we can figure out from feet to yard. So we got to go from inches to feet first. So we're going to go from 345.7 inches. We're given 1 foot is 12 inches. It's the same thing. So in this case, we have to divide. So 345.7 divided by 12. You get your answer. You have now yards. Yards are your given now. You're given and you're desired. I'm sorry, you're desired and then you're desired and given again. So then you divide again. After you have that number, and I'll do it real quick so you guys will. So we have 345.7 divided by 12. You get 28.8, right? And we're in feet right now. Okay? And you can just round to the nearest 10. It's easiest. Now we're in feet. We have our given, we have our desired, we have our given. So in this case, there's 1 yard for every 3 feet. Same thing again. We're going to take that number and divide it by 3. You get 9.602, and that's exactly what we got right here. Okay? Pretty straightforward. And that's in yards. Then you're going to have a couple of these on the test, and I want to make sure you guys know how to do these. Basically says to convert to kilometers per liter. So these are fuel efficiencies and basically your ACT kind of questions, right? We all love these. You have 55 miles per gallon, okay? So now we have 2 of these to kind of mess with. So we got to focus on one at a time, and that's all you got to do. So in this case, we're going to focus on gallons first, just because I like gallons, I don't know. Gallons is going to be first, and then down here we're going to focus on miles. So you have miles per gallon. All that slash means is per, basically. Okay, so this per right here. We get two different measurements. We got to figure out one at a time. 55 miles per gallon. How many gallons are per liter first? Why are we doing that? Because if you look over here, we're trying to convert again to liters eventually. And then we're trying to eventually, then from liters, go into kilometers, right? So we can go, if we look over in our conversion chart, you're going to see liters per gallon equals also feet, equals also fluid ounces, also 1 centimeter, right? I'm sorry, just the fluid ounces. But it's a lot easier if you have gallons, feet, and ounces all in one shot. So in here, we're going to go from gallons, again, given, desired, given, right? Given, desired, given. And we're going to cross multiply them all at the same time. So we're going to go, gallons is 2.264. Where do we get that? 1 liter equals 0.264 gallons right here. So we have a gallon, we have liters. Again, you're given the gallons, you're desired, you're given. So we can 55 times 0.264. And then you're going to take the same exact thing and you have liters. We're going to do them both at the same time, kind of. And you have kilometers per mile. Where do we get that? If we come over here, you're going to see that there is a distance, miles and feet, 0.621 right here. Kilometers equals 0.621 miles. So we got miles, what we're trying to get. Again, 0.621 is in 1 kilometer. Cross multiply, so 55 times 0.264, you get a number. Divide that by 0.621, you get 23.4. Does that make sense? A little complex, but all you got to do with these per gallons and these pers is basically do this and this first. Meaning that you got to separate, you got gallons here, okay, and you got miles here. So we're going to do 1 first. I would do the denominator, which is the bottom number, always first, and then come from there, and then do this top number later. Good? That's kind of complex, but pretty straightforward. That's it. That's all I wanted to show you guys. So on the activity, basically in the activity, if you look at Unit 1, you're going to see unit conversions, and I've kind of dumbed this down too. So we're going to do all the 1, 2, and 3, but that's basically shortened. This was also a 5-page document of conversions alone. That's a waste of your time too. If you can convert, you can convert. If you can't, you can't, and we move on. There's only like 2 or 3 questions on the exam from it, so I'm not really that crazy worried about it. We good? This is what you're doing in your engineering notebook. What are you going to do after you're done? Take a picture of it and put it in Google Classroom. Okay? Any questions or concerns?